All right, bro, I have a question for you. All right?
Yes, sir.
What is your cutoff date on the new year to stop saying Happy New Year's?
I think you can say Happy New Year throughout all of January.
I think so too.
February
Yeah.
1st.
Stop saying it.
Stop.
But we're still in January.
Yeah.
It's a new year.
Yeah.
New things are happening. And they're going to be happening all year long. Which brings me to my next point. This episode is sponsored by SeatGeek. With the new year here, I'm here to tell you about SeatGeek. 28 million downloads. SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app in the App Store.
70,000 live events?
Come on, man. That's on the daily.
Supposedly, Josh is going to take me to go see SZA and Kendrick Lamar, but
If that's
he
what you
only
want.
saying that.
I'm only saying that because SeatGeek hooked us up with a special code, La Plática 2025, which gets me 10% off my next ticketed purchase, which I'm going to use to take you on a hot date.
Just me and you?
If you want that.
Guys, Josh ain't lying. SeatGeek gave us La Plática 2025 for 10% off your next purchase.
Do my name look like Mufasa? Nope. So I ain't lying. So what are you guys waiting for? Take out your phones, open the SeatGeek app, and add code La Plática 2025 to your account to make sure you get 10% off your next set of tickets. That's code La Plática 2025 for 10% off any tickets on SeatGeek.
Just click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can just use it later.
Thank you, SeatGeek.
That's me flying away.
Okay.
I'm gonna use it.
Let me be honest.
Every guest is a privilege.
Do we want to go there?
Get jolly.
Cause I'm on a podcast with Josh Labor.
Yeah, you have two motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Let me just tell you.
Holy schmoly, the Josh Levy.
Holy smokes.
Holy smokes is a good one. Now, I have a question for you, Josh. Do you realize that it's episode 180?
Wow.
180, bro.
Wow.
180,
Is
bro.
that correct?
Yes.
We're 20 away from 200?
Yeah. From
That's
the party that
wild.
you're going to throw.
It's going to be a rager. It's
This-
going to be lit.
This is insane. What an accomplishment.
This is wild,
180. And we have a special guest before I introduce him. This video is sponsored by SeatGeek, the #1 ticket rating app on the App Store. Use SeatGeek for all your tickets, just like Josh and myself.
That's all we use, baby.
Josh, this is a very important episode for us.
Yeah.
We talked about doing this when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier this month, we had, obviously everybody knows, some very, very devastating fires. And the first thing that we wanted to do is bring somebody on who maybe endured. Is that the right word? That is just
Where are you going with this? We'll like finish the sentence and I'll tell you.
I'm trying to talk smart right now. Do you see how my voice changed?
Yeah. It's a smart voice.
Yeah, so we wanted to invite
Someone who's
somebody
been in the
over
trenches.
who's been in it.
Yeah.
And who can, spread knowledge. And we found the perfect person. Follow La Plática on YouTube. Follow the Josh Leva. Follow Sebastian Robes, which is Sebas.
Follow
and follow
Sazon
the new
Studio.
account, Sazon
Come on,
Studios. Today is the day that we finally launched that. But now, the one and only, an amazing person. Follow him on TikTok as well and Instagram. Our good friend now.
The hottest firefighter you've ever seen in your entire life.
I would say so. Marco.
What's up?
Marco, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm
Yeah?
good. How are you guys doing?
Good, man. Doing really good.
Happy to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
We appreciate it. We're super excited to have you here because I'm just like myself. I have a lot of questions.
Yes. Yes. It's funny because when we had asked you to be on the podcast, this is when like the fires were happening, and we were trying to like get you in pretty quick, and you're like, I'm still kind of in the middle of something.
Yeah.
And we're like, good point. I
was like,
get back
okay.
to us.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you on the pod.
Yeah. So I know that you've been working the fires, right?
Yes, sir.
I first want to ask you, how are you mentally? Like, I know that everybody looks at, and by the way, his beautiful wife is here, Denise.
Come on, man. You see the ring?
You see the ring. So, a beautiful couple, by the way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, what the fuck?
It makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I really want to know because, we can look at you guys and say, wow, what an incredible job they're doing, right? And it's amazing what you guys do, the hours that you guys put on, the hard work that you guys are appearing to do. And
risk.
obviously you guys are doing it. Yeah, exactly. And the risk. And, but we don't really see the other side. How are you mentally when this is going on? Like, I know we just spoke recently right before we hit record, and you kind of said like, yeah, it's fun. It's like almost like I'm playing in a sandbox. You know, I'm doing what I love. But do you ever feel some sort of type of way where you're kind of like, yo, I need to like decompress. Like this is a lot. I mean, we historically just had one of the biggest fires in SoCal. I don't know if that was the biggest fire that you've ever witnessed in your life. I know that I think it's top 3 biggest in SoCal. I want to say that. I'm not too familiar.
It has to be,
obviously,
right?
Marco knows, but yeah, I just want to say, how are you? How's everything?
Good. Like, so mentally, so there's a saying in the fire service that in order to be a firefighter, you got to have a little screw loose, right? Just because of the stuff that we see, that we go through.
Yeah.
But no, I'm good. I'm good. So this fire has been the most destructive that I've seen for sure. But as far as like acres, I've seen a lot bigger.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really?
I've been to like 8 of the top 10 biggest fires in California.
8 of the 10?
Yeah, 8 of the 10 biggest
Wow.
fires. So the biggest one prior to the Park Fire, which was last year, I was at that one, was the Creek Fire in Fresno County. So,
I heard about that.
yeah, so it was, but yeah, as far as like just destructive and like the amount of like homes that went down that burnt, yeah, this is definitely one of the biggest ones.
Yeah. Is there something different that you kind of realized that was going on? Like, for example, on a day-to-day basis, putting out fires is something you do regularly. But this time you're kind of like, oh shit, the National Guard's here. Oh shit, there's firefighters from all over California, out of state.
Out of the country.
There's you know, videos of like firefighters from Mexico coming from and you know, supplying aid to Southern California.
Yeah.
How did you feel while that was going on?
Yeah. So yeah.
Like,
so,
were you I'm sorry to interrupt. Were you kind of like, oh my God, this is something different?
Yeah, it's for sure different, man. As far as like day-to-day operations, you know, a normal wildland fire is, you know, we're out in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
protecting small towns. You know, not as much media.
I was about to say that.
Right. Damn.
Hell of media. One of the things is like, dude, shout out to LA. We're happy to be here, right? Unfortunately, it was under these circumstances, but I mean, LA really showed out. They showed us a lot of love. There was yeah, like you said, there was firefighters from Mexico, firefighters from Australia. I mean,
Wow.
all over the state. Wherever we went, you just had you know, people thanking us for our service, right? Which
Incredible,
you know,
man.
We're here to do a job.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, we're getting paid for it, but yeah, we felt very well taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So,
said something earlier, like in order to be a firefighter, like you kind of have to have like a screw loose.
Yeah.
When the fires happened, Sebas and I had an episode where we kind of like dive into it and kind of like made it a point to talk about it and, you know, help out any way that we could. But I said something about like while people are running away, like firefighters are running in. And that's just so crazy to me, man. Like you guys are literally like putting your guys' life on the line. Like sure, like you guys are getting paid and this is your job, but it's still like a massive risk.
yeah.
And I could imagine like you have like your wife here. Like I know you are like grateful to be able to work and like support your community and and help out, but like she must be scared.
Oh yeah, dude. She's every day texting me. She's got my location on. Yeah. There are parts, you know, in the city or when I'm out on a deployment where my phone doesn't have any service.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And she'll you know, she freaks out.
Yeah.
I'll text her the next morning once we have some sort of service, you know, once we have reception, and she's like, oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
where have you been? How was it? You know, it's just all nervous and scared. So for us, it's just fun. You know, we're out there, we're camping. You know,
Yeah.
we're around a fire.
And then and then you have like your camaraderie with you, you know?
The guys and stuff.
Yeah, because I look at that like for example, like law enforcement and the fire department.
The brotherhood.
There's like a huge brotherhood, correct?
Yeah, huge brotherhood.
I mean, even though there are
sisterhood.
female firefighters and female cops, but when I say brotherhood, it's kind of everybody.
like unity.
Not just like
Unity.
not just males, right?
Yeah, so
but there's like a
definitely.
huge kind of like, it's almost like like when you
family.
go on a boys trip, you know what I
Yep.
mean? Like it's just like hey, we're one.
Yeah, we're out there. We're camping together. You know, I tell my wife it's like
Hey, I'm
one
having
of-
a great time.
Yeah. It's like, well, I try not to hype it up that much.
No, for sure.
So she lets me go on the next one. But yeah, no, it's definitely one of those like these fires. They're events that where you build a tighter knit. With the crews that you're with, you know,
Yeah.
with the strike team that you're with. You know, there's times where we get attached to different rigs from different cities, different counties, and you end up leaving 14 days after, like, hey, what's up, dude? Like, hey,
Yeah.
here's my number. Hit me up.
Yeah,
whenever
yeah,
you
yeah.
want, you know?
How cool. How cool.
What you said that your guys' day to day might look like different because of this scenario, the situation that was going on. What can you explain like what a typical day to day looks like for you? Like when I think of firefighters, I just think of like like a hot man with a hose, just like watering shit down, But there's so much more that goes
Which
into it, right?
clearly it is.
You got so I see the hot part, but what's the work part?
Playing with our Mangueras.
There it is. Come on, Marco.
Bro,
Come
you
on, Marco.
You just hit his humor to the T, bro.
More of that, Marco. More of that.
That's good. I'm warming up.
Yeah, warming up.
So, all right. So there's two sides. There's two kinds of firefighters. Do you want to know the day-to-day life as a city firefighter?
Yeah, let's start there. Yeah.
A city firefighter, right? So I work 48-hour shifts. I get 4 days off, so the schedule is clutch, right? But in those 48 hours, you have like a set schedule, right? They're working hours from 8 in the morning to 4 p.m. You kind of have like chores. You're checking out your rig. You're making sure it runs. You're checking out your equipment. Make sure everything runs properly.
Can you explain what rig is?
A rig, oh yeah.
The truck, no?
Well, see, the fire engine. Yeah,
The fire
rig,
engine.
The fire engine or the truck. So here's one of those where like everyone gets confused as far as like what an engine is and what a rig or what a truck is. So the way I see it is the fire truck. It's that long truck with you got one in the back, one driving the front.
Yeah.
And that's just it's a big toolbox on wheels, right? We support the engine. The engine has the Mangueras, right? They have all the water that puts the fire out. Pressurize the water, puts the fire out. So we check them out. There's like a daily you got to do on them every day, making sure the brakes work. All that good stuff. As soon as the tones drop, we drop whatever we're doing and we respond, right?
Yeah.
And the cool thing about that is, well, at least the cool thing for me is, you never know what kind of call it's gonna be, right? Well, you get dispatched, you're like, oh, medical aid. It could be something from like, oh, person on the ground. Right, and that's all you'll get. So then you're playing scenarios in your head on the way to the call. If you're driving to the call, you're thinking of the route. It's just a lot of stress that goes onto it. Right, you go from like doing one thing and then now you're doing another thing. Like 60 seconds later, your heart's pumping, it's racing, but then you start going through like that little mnemonic in your head, a little algorithm in your head of what could this be and how could I mitigate the situation. Right, show up on scene as something totally different. Right. Guy on the ground turns into the roof is collapsed. You got a car, 5-car accident. There's one guy on the ground, but then there's, 7 other people out here that just got ejected from a vehicle. And you're like, okay, well, it's just turned into a bigger call. Wow. Day-to-day operations, right? So in the mornings, we have our duties, right? Our daily duties. Clean the station. We go shopping, go to the grocery store. Usually I'm the cook, Shout out to my boys out there.
You get down in the kitchen?
I do get down in the kitchen.
Damn,
yeah. Mexican food's my specialty.
There you go.
Right.
Well, of course. Yeah, that's why you're the chef. Mexican food's top tier.
Yeah. They love Mexican food.
Especially all your Weddle friends, that are firefighters are like, what are you going to make today, Marco?
Chile Colorado. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, primo. They call me
awesome.
primo.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we go shopping and then come back. We have a gym. We work out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then during that whole time, if we have extra projects, we're working on them. And then after 4 p.m., it's just kind of our time. So
wow,
play a little bit of pickleball.
So like, it's not just specifically fires that you guys are dealing with. Like you mentioned, like somebody being in like a car accident, somebody being ejected from the vehicle.
Yeah.
Like, what are you guys doing in a scenario like that? Like, are you guys picking up like, what are you just assisting when it comes to that?
Yes.
Well, most firefighters are basically like certified paramedics as well, correct?
Yeah.
Isn't that like something that you need to have under your belt in order to be a firefighter?
Yeah. So there's 2, right? So every rig, at least for my department and the majority of my county, we're all ALS, which is advanced life support, and we have at least 1 medic in every piece of apparatus. So like that's whether it's the fire truck or the fire engine, we have at least 1 medic, right? And then the rest can be EMTs, right? So there's EMT, then there's paramedics, right? The ambulance guys, they're like the middlemen. They're the ones that transport from the emergency scene to the hospital, right? We show up. That's why you see a fire engine at every call, right? Whether they call, they're having a heart attack or someone just needs their blood pressure taken. You're always going to see a fire engine there first. And that's because what we do is we'll stabilize the patient. The ambulance gets there, transports the patient, drops them off at the hospital. So that's as simple as I could explain.
Wow. Shifting gears to like the fires that were happening. What was the day-to-day like for that?
So day to day, like, there's we have work ops or operational periods, which is 24 on and 24 off. So that's why I was able to text you guys on my days off. Hey, what's up? What are you guys doing? So, on a day on, so the first day that we got here, we had a bed down because we got here pretty late. The next day we went straight into operational period. So it was 24 hours of just, it was 24 hours of roving around, putting out hot spots. The fire was pretty much controlled after 36 hours. The damage that it was going to do was done in the first 36 hours
Wow.
of the fire, right? When we showed up, there's more wind events that were going to come later that week. So we were already pre-staging. But in order for us to, control that situation, we had to drive around and put out hot spots that weren't put out fully. So during those first 36 hours.
Marco, what's crazy about the fires that were just going on was it wasn't just one fire. I live in an area where I was around 4 of them.
I was in a ring of fire.
Yeah.
Exactly where I was
And we
located.
kind of live in the same
Vicinity.
vicinity. You like that word? Yeah. And were you stationed at a certain area? And where was that at?
So I was assigned to the Palisades fire. So I only rode that area. So we
Wow.
stayed there. That was where our base camp was.
Which was the fire that caused the most damage, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But the other one was just as bad, which was
Yeah.
the Eaton fire
Yeah, the Eden fire.
in Altadena. Horrible. Were you guys at the Rose Bowl camping as well? Were you there or were you somewhere else?
No, so that was a different base camp, right? So for each fire, they get their own base camp. And base camp is just a big plot of land where like all our logistics start, they go into, and then they establish that base camp, right? You have a ton of resources. You have, where we get our breakfast at, our lunch, our water, like all that stuff. We report to base camp every morning before our operational period, and we get our assignment. It's called the IAP, the Incident Action Plan, right? We get our books. Okay, so hey, you guys are assigned to this division, and you guys are and it has our assignments down. Our base camp was in Malibu, so we were nowhere near the Rose Bowl.
Got it. I'm assuming people at the Rose Bowl were the ones that were at the Eaton fires.
Yeah.
At what point did Marco tell himself, "Holy shit, this is catastrophic"?
First day, our first operational period, when we were driving through all those burnt buildings.
When you got called in and you had to get to the destination, did you think that it was going to be catastrophic, or did you think that, okay, it's bad,
Yeah.
but I think it'll be a 1 to 2 day thing?
I mean, I saw some of because I have a ton of friends that are firefighters that were here before me, and just the videos that were posting on Instagram, I was looking at it. I'm like, okay, it looks like a fire. It's just like any other fire.
Kinda
You see. And it wasn't until the day after that we got here, where we actually got put to work, where I saw like all those homes, on the coast. It was just
Disintegrated.
burnt to the ground. Like you're like all these houses just leveled, and
Yeah.
you'd have like one standing home.
Yeah.
That's
so weird.
Yeah.
Why do you think
does
that
that
happens?
happen?
Is
Yeah.
that just luck? Is that the type of construction that they make the house, the textures that they use?
Materials.
Is that just luck?
Luck,
right?
Really
A lot of it is luck. Yeah, because we saw some homes that were made out of like nothing but wood, pura madera, and like,
They were good.
yeah, they were good. And then the homes next to them were just burnt to the ground.
Wow.
So
Bro, that's insane.
yeah,
Imagine living in one of those neighborhoods that like all the houses were down to crisp except for yours. Like, could you still live there?
Yeah.
I don't think I could, bro.
Wow. I mean, just hearing that, first of all, I want to thank you, even for somebody like Josh and myself. We're not fighting the fires, but it's scary living. It was scary living here for over a week.
It was just the unknown. I mean, we were just getting fed everything like via like the internet and media and stuff like that. And like, we don't really know. We're just kind of trusting what they're showing us and saying and stuff like that. But you actually got to see it, man, which is just crazy.
yeah, man. Shit. Now you guys have someone on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with the media, do you watch the news when you're done? Do you feel like they're just bullshitting a lot? Do you feel like they're talking about the truth? And I'm not saying that they're trying to lie to us, but like,
Exaggerate.
are they exaggerating? Are they kind of like putting más crema into the tacos?
Or are they downplaying?
Or are they downplaying? Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, The media, I don't like to watch the news, right? They could do both, you know,
Yeah.
a little bit of both, right? But for this one, I think it was just at least the Palisades fire was in an area where there was a lot of money, so there was more
Media
coverage,
attention.
more attention to it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all I could really say about
Yeah.
it.
'Cause
There's a lot of coverage.
Yeah, and obviously you can't really hide what's really going on. I mean, there's fires that are just burning to the ground, and neighborhoods or the city was wiped out. So you can't really hide that, right?
Right.
When there is a fire like the one that we just witnessed, and you get there, and do you and your team, or what you call a strike team, or even like your captain and other captains from other rigs or engines, you call them?
Yeah.
Is there kind of like, yo, we just gotta have to like wait and see what this does? Because with the fire and the amount of wind that was happening, there's almost like there's nothing you can do about it, right? I remember one of the nights, it looked like hell.
Dude.
And the wind was pushing people. So it was like insanely strong. You almost tell yourself, even somebody who doesn't know about fires, isn't educated on, what they can do. Do you just kind of back away and like, there's nothing we can do really? I mean, there's no air support because of the winds. And there's like just people on the ground, doing whatever they can. You have to kind of like save the water as well, right? You can't just let the water rip 24/7.
Most fire departments operate by like this standard where like you risk a lot to save a lot, meaning like you're gonna risk your life if you got to go save a life. Right? You risk a little to save a little, right? Where if you could go and save the house and property, go for it, but don't go in there if you have a potential of passing away or dying. So we kind of there's a fine line where we stop, and with a fire like this, there were homes, and putting water on a fire isn't just going to put a fire out.
Right.
This thing's still hot. You got to put an enormous amount of water to put a fire out at a house, and so that was the first problem. There wasn't a lot of water.
Interesting.
Some of the hydrants that we were tapping into, there's no water coming out.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard what the media has told me and told us, but plain and simple, it could have been anything from just one of the pump houses that was out, because all these wires were burnt. These electrical poles were out, right? And then you have a pump station that's not working. It's not going to supply water, especially when you live up there in the Palisades.
Yeah.
Right? That's a lot of elevation. You got to pump water to.
Yeah.
So water wasn't getting up there. So at a single structure fire, we deploy 1 truck and 5 engines and 2 battalions, 1 ambulance, right? Now imagine at 8,000 homes. Like that's shit. Hard. It's impossible, right? And then in 32 hours to get all those resources up and moving, it's definitely something to think about now. Next time, how can we prepare for something like that?
Yeah.
I heard about certain like celebrities or people with like that have the resources to do it. They were like hiring private firefighters. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I did hear about that.
Yeah, is that? Are they doing the same thing that you guys are doing? They're just not like funded by like the government, I guess.
Yeah. So we call them privates. There's a bunch of companies like that.
Yeah.
That hire privates, right?
Kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's like they're just contracted firefighters.
Yeah,
right?
I think like it was Kim Kardashian who had like obviously to protect her house and stuff, and she was kind of getting like ridiculed by it. But I'm like, man, if you have the resources to do it, yeah, because does that take away from you guys in a sense? Like if I guess it's just an extra firefighter that could go help out with like the bigger case, right? Instead they're like kind of focusing on one property.
Yeah, that's how I would see it.
Yeah,
that's
I guess you're right.
That's how a lot
that
of
makes
us
sense.
would
Now
see
that
it.
I'm speaking it out, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that way, resources were already stretched,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You got 3 fires going on at once.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's already tough enough if you have, just one fire going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
But then you have the Eaton fire, the
Yeah.
McKinley fire,
Yeah.
and then you have the Palisades fire, and then the
Yeah.
other one that started in the West Hollywood Hills, I think.
Mm-hmm.
While we were there,
All in
I'm
one
like,
night.
Yeah, I was like, oh, for sure, we're gonna go to this.
Wow.
We're gonna redeploy us. But they ended up, based on the capabilities of our engines, they'll like cut you loose from one incident and send you to another one.
Oh, got
So
it.
yeah, it's like quick attack or IA.
During all this was happening, like, were you ever scared?
Honestly,
Nah,
no.
no. My wife was scared. I'm like, hey, chill. Like, you're making me nervous.
Yeah.
Like, it's all right.
Because I mean, historically, it's the biggest fire ever in my life.
Yeah.
You know, so like I can't imagine how, or were you just completely fearless? What a fucking man you are.
Well,
He's like, true. True.
you're making me blush. No,
Not once were you like, I ain't going in there. You know, I'm not saying you go into all the houses, but like,
Nah, you know,
you like second guessing, like, shit.
Dude, I don't even have time to think.
Damn, no way.
I'm in the zone. Like, you don't even have time to think, right?
So
you
hot.
kind of you rely on your training. I'm not saying I don't get scared, because right now I'm scared of the after effects, right? All that smoke. That
Oh,
we
right.
inhaled.
Yeah.
So
That's a good
That's
point,
a
man.
little. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to keep up with that, you know. But
Yeah.
like in the moment, I'm just doing what I was
Trained to do.
trained to do. Yeah, like ever since I was a little kid, it's what I wanted to do.
Really?
And I'm actually doing it now. So to me, it's like I said, dude, I'm playing in the sandbox, or going out there, and like it feels good, because it's like you're earning that paycheck.
Damn.
You know.
Dang, Denise, when you go on a date with them, are you just like, God damn, I'm such a fucking manly man. Jesus Christ, keep talking, baby.
Do you make him wear his outfit when you guys go out? I would.
Damn, baby. Since you were born, you wanted to do this? Yeah.
I got a fire. You could. Okay. Bro, I was gonna ask. Did you see that Joe Rogan clip where like he was like interviewing like a firefighter, and he was talking about how like basically California is set up in a way where like it's inevitable that something like this is gonna happen. Like at any moment, like a wind is gonna strike and is gonna cause all this crazy fire.
Yeah, like
What were your thoughts on that? Did you see that clip?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
clip.
What are your thoughts on it? And do you still feel like that's the case? I mean, has this fire kind of like helped prevent future fires in any way? Because it got rid of a lot of like the bush that was causing a lot of fire.
Marco, before you answer that, let's go on a quick break. I love that
You always
question.
do that to me.
I love that question.
Let me ask you a question,
I wanted
bro.
to ask that question as
Let me
well,
ask you a
because that
question, bro.
clip went viral.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, it was almost basically the guy was saying that it's inevitable that one day it's going to happen, right? And there's nothing we can do about it, correct? That's what he said, right?
Mhm. Like
Cool.
the way the California terrain is set up and stuff, and the mountains and the winds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's bound to happen.
Cool. So let's go on a short break and then we'll continue with that question.
Let's do it.
Cool. We'll be right back.
Copy.
Yeah, so we were talking about the Joe Rogan clip where he was like interviewing the firefighter, and basically the firefighter was like, the way California's set up, if the right wind hits with the right temperature, it can really cause some like serious destruction. And then shortly after, that's exactly what happened. So I was just kind of curious, like what your thoughts about it, and then because we had this crazy fire, I know it lit up a lot of the bushes that were the potential to create these massive fires. Like, where do we stand now that this has happened?
It was inevitable. It's going to happen based on topography, the droughts, the amount of dry bush we have, dry forests. And
Marco, what's
weather.
topography?
Topography?
Because I don't know what that means. I mean, I've heard it, obviously, especially this month. If we can pull up the definition, but what does that
Like the
really
terrain,
mean?
I guess,
Yeah.
like the layout of.
Bro, you know more than me, dude. I heard it online, and I was like, I'm gonna use that word.
You're like, Trent, write that down. Write that down.
Okay, the arrangement of the natural and artificial physical features of an area.
Yeah,
Got
it's
it.
the terrain. Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
Terrain, topography. Topography is just a little
more technical term.
more like pinkies.
Yeah.
Got it.
Topography.
Got it.
Topography.
Topography.
The way that the winds push, against the mountains or down a ravine or up a ravine.
Yeah.
And we got to remember that fire is natural, right? And that's the reason that these fires are getting a lot bigger is because we prevent them for such a long time, right? And we do that because there's people with a lot of money living in the hills and this kind of topography where fire just naturally happens, right?
Yeah.
In clear forest. Fires are supposed to happen because new life is supposed to be created off of ashes and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's just the way that nature kind of resets itself.
So
Right?
in some cases, the fire is good and helpful.
Fire is good and helpful, except for when it destroys property, and costs people a lot of money and lives, obviously. All I can say for that is that we're living with a new reality. It's not really a new reality, but it's just the way of life in California.
Yeah.
These aren't. I'm not saying they're not gonna get any better, but I think that we could be better prepared. And this fire sheds a big light on this new issue, on this new reality, which isn't really new, but it's new now because there was a lot of media covering this, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
It became hyper aware.
Yeah. So obviously, social media, they tend to kind of have their own conspiracy theories about why this fire happened. I'm sure you've seen a lot of videos. Do you feel like there's some sense of truth to like the videos that speak upon, oh, this was kind of caused on purpose because they want to build Smart LA 2.0 or something like that? I'm sure you saw videos like that. Somebody like yourself who fights the fires, what do you think about when you see videos like that? Because obviously you're a regular guy like Josh and myself.
Yeah.
Just way more manlier.
Facts.
Oh yeah, right, man. I wish I could grow a beard, bro.
Shit, me
I
too.
think that's manly.
No,
No,
you ever
like
rock
what-
the stash? You've
Dude,
done the
I
stash.
can't.
No?
No. I mean, I've tried.
Have you tried caca de mosca? Have you heard about that one?
Oh, what's that?
Supposedly to grow your beard, you like squish you have to like trap one first, like a fly.
And then get the
And then you
Rex?
squeeze the like Denise is on because she knows it's true. And you gotta squeeze like the butt and get the poop, and then you like rub it around your.
I heard baby shit, like caca de bebé.
What?
Wow.
From the diaper, like I heard that.
Really?
Bro, I don't know
they're
why
playing
I
a
believe
trick.
this shit. I'm like, this has to work. It probably
Well, I
works.
mean, whoever said it had to try
Right,
it in
and
the
they're like,
beginning.
shit, it works.
They're like, oh shit, I have a beard now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know about like baby poop, but try maybe fly poop first.
Fly poop.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, you think about it, right? Babies, like they're brand new, like all these nutrients coming in.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Conspiracy
Like
theories.
vampires, they like baby's blood. That's
They
like
do?
their dessert. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah. So I forgot what I was even. Oh yeah. What do you
conspiracy.
feel like when you see videos like that? Is it like kind of like? Is it like, haha, that's funny? Do you actually kind of, maybe, or are you kind of like, man? Do you almost feel offended?
The kind of person I am, I just laugh about it, unless I get like really deep into it. I'm like, oh wait. Then I
This makes sense.
start playing tricks with myself.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it does make sense. No, I laugh about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like because who knows, right?
No, really.
There's someone,
Who knows, man?
yeah, someone a lot smarter.
Mm-hmm.
If it is happening, someone a lot smarter than
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
They're planning it.
There's videos online, and maybe you can kind of stump this question, but a lot of people, when something like that happens, a lot of people post online of actual firefighters lighting up huge areas of landscape and burning it on fire. And then they use those videos to say, oh, the firefighters are the ones actually like burning it
Causing
down.
more fire.
Why is it that firefighters burn areas like that down? They have like a huge torch. They're just sometimes they even do it by plane. They light places on fire. Why do they do that?
That is that's what we call fighting fire with fire. So
Makes sense.
Yeah. So there's a fire blowing. It's ripping through, right? And you know the direction it's going. It's the head of the fire, right? We call it the head of the fire. So if we burn off, if we do a controlled burn in front of the fire, the theory behind that is to stop the bigger fire
From moving in that direction.
stop that momentum of the bigger fire.
Wow. And it does? And it actually does work.
Yeah, it
Wow.
does. So those are all tactics that
Really?
So you create a barrier with fire.
yeah, so we make sure, we create a barrier with fire. So we're burning off all that fuel, right? That fire tetrahedron, right? Oxygen, fuel, and a combustion source.
Mm-hmm.
So we take away the fuel, and if it has nothing else left to burn, one of those elements in that triangle,
Yeah.
essentially we cut it off, and then the fire stops,
Wow.
right? So yeah, we do fight fire with fire, and backfiring ops, firing ops, whatever you want to call it. It's a good way. I mean, but we prepare for it, right? Depending, and then it's a tactic. We prepare for it. It's a controlled burn, right? So we cut line around that fire, right? Making sure that it doesn't slop over, and then just create a bigger fire. So it's not just something where we're like, hey, let's just put fire right
See
here.
what
you know,
happens.
like, hey, smoke eaters.
Yeah.
All right, no. So
It's
yeah,
tactical.
It's all tactics.
And who's making the calls to do something like that? Is it like the chief?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Damn, that's a
governor.
lot. Yeah.
The governor. No, the fire marshal of California, right? The head honchos, man. I don't even know who these guys are. I don't even know if they're real.
Wow.
They're probably real. Yeah, no, these guys make a lot more money than me. That's for sure.
I'm making these
but
crazy orders.
yeah, but it's usually boots on the ground. You know, chiefs that are experienced. You know, that have
Yeah.
years and years of experience. You know, this the wildland guys. I do it seasonally. The wildland stuff. I love it. But there are guys that dedicate their lives to wildland fire.
Wow.
Yeah, so shout out to all those guys. Shout out to the fire service, you know, Cal Fire. Those are the guys that are, you know, out there, you know, that dedicate their lives to find wildland fires in California.
Dude, what's your story? Like, how did you get into firefighter? You said that you wanted to do this since you was a kid, right? Like, you kind of mentioned that. So,
yeah, so
who is Marco the
who is
firefighter?
Marco?
More than just a firefighter.
Well, yeah, well, my name is Marco. And,
Yeah.
All right.
And by the way, follow Marco on Instagram as well. He posts nothing but firefighter content, which is
Nothing
amazing.
but fire content.
Hey, you talk about fire content?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, so I was 5 years old, and I'll never forget this day. Me and my little sister, we were playing with my Hot Wheels, right? And she had her Barbies there, so we were kind of like, you know, playing. But I remember she was sick. She had a little terry towel on her head. And, you know, when cuando tienes calentura, your
Cool
parents
you
would
down.
put a
Wet
would put a
towel.
little wet towel, just try to cool your core temperature and all that. So I remember telling my sister, I was like, hey, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get the Hot Wheels because we needed more toys. I don't know why. But, you know, like I'm playing with my
You
little
always need more
sister.
toys.
Yeah, you always need more toys. And, you know, just big brother, you know, acompañando my sister, keeping her entertained while she feels like crap. So I was like, all right, I'll be back. Count 3, 2, 1. I'm running through the hallway, run through the kitchen. It's dark, you know, I'm scared of the dark. I am scared of the dark, by the way.
Same.
Run through it, grab the bag of toys, run back, dump all the toys on the bed. I'm ready. And then I look at her, and my sister's like,
shit.
freaking, she's seizing. Right?
Damn.
At the time, I didn't know what it was. She's like, you know, like fucking, her eyes were on the back of her head. So I'm like, Ma. She's like, mira. And then, yeah, next thing you know, like there's these people in my house. You know, they put her on a stretcher, they rolled her out. Like I remember having one calcetin, bro. You know the calcetins that you get from like the swap meet.
Yeah.
They were hella high. De la pulga.
Sock check, fool.
So, sock check. Yeah, dude. Sheesh. I was a dumbass fool. So yeah, like they wheeled her out. I remember seeing the strobes, and they're putting her in an ambulance, and I'm just like worried. You know, she's my little sister, and you know, you guys know how we are. We grow up protecting our little sisters.
Yeah.
And our little siblings. And so out of nowhere, this like freaking tall ass dude just comes out and taps me in the head and says, "Your sister's gonna be okay." And then ever since then, like that's the first ever like experience with the fire service I ever had.
Wow.
I was like, I knew then and there that I wanted to do that for someone someday, whether it's a kid or an older person or anybody, whoever it was. I wanted to make their shitty day go away. And
Wow.
and that's kind of like, you know, that is something that just guided me my entire life. And yeah, you know, got to high school, or I was in middle school, got to high school, and then I just started looking up, like, how do I become a firefighter?
How do I do this?
How do I actually
Really?
do it?
How do I
Yeah.
drive that red truck?
Yeah. How do I?
You know what's funny is you say that and you know a firefighter inspired you and made you feel a certain type of way. I don't think, Marco, you realize, you know, recently with all the tragedy that has happened, that you, especially being Mexican, correct?
Yes, sir.
Being a Mexican firefighter, and thousands of other Latino and non-Latino firefighters that have been helping Southern California and around the world, if you're a firefighter. Not only have we felt this huge amount of sadness because of what went on, but I think a lot of people have, and maybe not everybody, and people have already realized this, but for myself, the amount of respect that we just got from you guys and what you guys had to do to put something out like that. And like I said, for example, myself, and I'm not even joking, I spoke with my wife and I said, I am so inspired by these guys, you know? And I get inspired by a lot of people, and a lot of people's profession inspire me. But this year, I didn't know I was going to be so inspired by firefighters and what you guys do. And I just felt like it was one of the most badass things I've ever seen, and like obviously in the most saddest and worst way possible. But you know, I know you felt it where you go to the gas station, when you go to a restaurant, when you want to, like those firefighters that went to In-N-Out and everybody started
Standing
clapping.
ovation.
You know, that was
No
that was
pictures.
an absolutely amazing feeling that I'm assuming that you felt. So that same feeling that you got from that firefighter, I'm getting from you right now. You know,
got
and
this one
thousands
hot.
and thousands of others just like me. I swear to you, I spoke with my wife, and I said, "Hey, Karen, I am dead ass right now. I want to become a firefighter. Maybe not right now, because I'm kind of busy.
Hey, I know a guy.
But I swear, I said, I told us, is there an age limit? Is there, what do I have? What's the first step? Right? Like, what's the first step? Do I have to know somebody? I know I need to get some certificates, you know, like, or like, you know, go through some classes, obviously training. Yeah. I'm dead ass inspired to be a firefighter. Yeah. You know? So for somebody like me and probably many others who, you know, probably have a great job right now, but they want to have that lifestyle of helping out people, their community, cities, countries, having that camaraderie, that brotherhood that you guys carry. And this can be with police officers as well, right? I feel like they all kind of share the same camaraderie. But I really got inspired by firefighters. What are the necessary steps to be a firefighter, and I know that, and that's why I'm telling people to follow Marco on Instagram, because you do guide people on becoming a firefighter.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks, bro. Thanks, Sebastian, for the nice words. But yeah, I feel like the guys at In-N-Out right now. No, I appreciate it though.
Yeah, for real.
This has just like shed a huge light on us as a profession.
Oh,
know?
100%.
Before this, you know, like with the whole budget cuts and like just everything going on around us and for affecting firefighters and just salaries and all that stuff. I think it's shedding light in a good way under unfortunate circumstances, you know, but we're doing our job, and it's the people that are, you know, that are pushing this. Yeah, there are classes that you need to take. And that's what my content is about, man. When I first started my TikTok, I would just post things about fire, right? Like kind of like the fires that I've seen with some corridos in the background, right? Just because I like corridos.
Yeah, I've seen that video. I've seen it.
Yeah, and then
Making movies.
Yeah, making movies, just kind of shedding a light on like what I do and making it look badass, because I think it is badass,
It is,
right?
bro.
Super.
And then a big thing about firefighters is that they don't like to how do you say it, like make it seem like we are badasses and things like that, in a good way, because they don't like to
It's a
brag.
humble approach. Yeah,
It's a humble approach, but you know, there are hiring issues where, you know, there's this generation that's constantly on their phone, and like, why not use social media as a tool to inspire kids and just open up doors, right?
Yeah.
Especially, you know, and you know, for kids from underserved communities, right?
Yeah.
Like for me, I come from a pretty rough little neighborhood. And if it wasn't for that moment, you know, when we called 911 for my little sister and that dude just tapping me on the head, I don't know if I would have been a firefighter, right? I would have probably been a jardinero. Not that there's something wrong with that, but that's what my example was. You know, my dad was a jardinero.
That was kind of like where your route was going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know,
mine was like construction.
Yeah, construction, blue collar, right? Because that's what we see.
Which there's nothing wrong about that.
Nothing at all, right? But, you know, I'm like, well, I'm getting DMs of like, you know, guys, you know, older than me, younger than me, my age, like, hey, what's the first step? Like, what do you need to do to become a firefighter? Or what did you do to become a firefighter? That's when something clicked. I'm like, hey, I could kind of use this as a way to, you know, my platforms to reach, to guide people, because there's a lot of unanswered questions out there, right? Yeah. A lot of the questions I get, like, how do I start? What do I do to get the ball rolling? So then I'm like, okay, I think I could write something, right? So then I took out my phone, opened up my notes app, and I just started typing literally everything that I did. Not including the military, but you know, I did 4 years in the Navy, which that helped me out a lot.
Thank you
too.
for that.
Yeah, it's like, thanks for the support. So I did that, but I kind of leave that out. And then there's youngsters that are like, hey,
Because you don't necessarily need to do that.
No, you don't need to do it, but it is a way, you know, if you're on the younger side of things, you know, you're just graduating high school and you're like, oh, I need some life experience, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what we look for. We look for life experience, right? So there are,
Yeah, especially like if you go up to like, say you get interviewed by the captain, right? I don't know if that's how it works, but have you ever been in the military? What's a better answer? I would say, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, Marcos, like, I was in the Navy. What about you, Sebastian? I had a podcast. Right? Like, oh, I'll take this guy. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, everyone has a story, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I saw it, I saw it as an opportunity, and then it just kind of started growing. You know, I mean, I don't have a lot of followers or anything. I have like 50, maybe 50K right now on TikTok.
Just wait till this episode drops.
Bro, 50K?
Yeah.
Bro, you don't understand how much 50K people
That's a
are.
lot,
bro,
man.
you know how much people fit in crypto arena? I think it's like 36,000.
Oh.
So imagine
Almost 2.
you have
That's an
almost 2
arena?
crypto centers looking at you.
That's a lot, man.
Oh, shit. That is a lot.
Yeah,
I'm getting
I think sometimes we like fall into this like perspective of like having to be viral and hit like a million views or 2 million. Oh my god, I went viral, bro. If your video, I'm sure you have videos that have probably hit numbers like that. But even if it's 20,000, 50,000,
Yeah.
that's
It's a
hella
lot of
eyes.
eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how many
eyes?
eyes that are?
Double it.
Double the eyes.
Is that 100K?
50,000 views, 100,000 eyes on you. Unless some fool's missing an eye.
Right. Yeah, we got to account for that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot, bro.
It is. No, yeah, and dude, I'm appreciative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm appreciative of all my followers because they're the ones that motivate me to keep pushing out this
Yeah.
content. So yeah, and then eventually that turned into me getting more serious about it and actually explaining the process. And I wrote a whole other PDF, and now it's like online. Like guys could, and it's all free too.
Oh, that's cool.
It's
No
all
way,
free.
Marco.
Yeah, it's free, man. 'cause,
Wow.
a lot of people want to monetize this.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you know, sometimes kiddos don't have the money to be paying
Yeah.
for something like that, right?
Where do
It's
people
kind of
go?
a weird thing to monetize, in my opinion, man.
For
It
sure.
is,
Just
right?
doesn't make sense.
It's just information.
Where do
it's
people go and
information.
find this information, Marco?
So
Is it a website or is it something you send them?
I used to copy and paste it 'cause they would message me, but that got like
Yeah, no,
Tedious,
my
bro. That's
thumbs,
crazy.
I'm like,
Yeah.
like I'm typing like my.
Fighting
Yeah,
fires
yeah,
at the
yeah,
same
yeah.
time.
So no, yeah. Now it lives in a document, and it's on a link. So the link
On your bio?
in my bio
Oh,
on
wow.
Instagram,
Amazing
and
that
on my TikTok.
That's
yeah.
amazing, bro.
We'll also link that in the description as well. If
Yeah,
anybody's
of
interested.
course. Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, it's in. So I put it all together in the link tree, and that's just kind of where all my links are.
Wow.
I put the link tree on my Instagram.
Wow.
You click it. It says the Firefighter Guide. I think it's the first one or it's the second
Oh,
one.
super
there.
cool.
How
Yeah,
cool.
and then step by step.
Oh, wow.
Like, hey, you woke up one day and like, hey, I want to be a firefighter. Kind of like what you're thinking about.
Don't listen to
And
this
then,
fool.
I'm being Josh, I'm being dead ass, bro.
Okay. Anyways, Marco, where were you?
Marco, if I really take this serious, I'll, like maybe not right now, but I'm 35 right now.
yeah.
Is it too late if I go like 38, 39 and I try? No, right?
Nah, it's never too late.
It's never too late, correct?
As long as you're able to do the job, man.
If I do the job and I do every necessary step from that moment that I try, how long do you think, if I'm lucky to get accepted into one of the departments, how long do you think that process is?
So that's a hard question. But
It's probably a common question you get asked a lot too, huh?
I do get that. I get asked that question a lot. And it all depends. Like, are you a hard charger? Or
What's that mean? Hard charger.
Like you're gonna freaking Monday through Sunday just grind from
Oh.
like 4 a.m.
Let me answer that
yeah,
for him.
like,
No.
like, are you a hard charger?
No.
Like, bah.
Josh, you don't know me, bro.
You have your hands underneath your legs. I know you.
You don't know me, bro.
You don't know me, bro. You don't know me. I'll put out crazy fires, dude. Bring me a fire, dude.
A hard charger. Got it. So it's like basically saying like,
Are you about it?
I'm with it every
Yeah,
fucking
all
day
in.
if you
Are
need
you all
me.
in?
Yeah, pretty much. And then everyone's situation is different because I've had guys that have full-time jobs already. They're like, hey, I'm looking into making the transition from this office job, and I want to be a firefighter. I'm like, all right, so like, and I can only take classes part-time, and there's options for that too. You're finished with your part-time job. I mean, with your career, your full-time job, and then you take classes in the evening, right? So
Yeah.
if where there's a will, there's a way.
Absolutely.
Right. So I estimate, between 18 months and 3 years, if you don't have like
The time.
if you have the time, 18 months and 3 years.
Wow.
Between 18 months and 3 years, right? But then, if you have a family, a full-time job, and, you still have to provide, then you're taking classes on the weekends, and you're testing on the weekends and things like that. Whenever you can, you have to ask for time off, or you have to take care of the kids. I'm going to say between 3 years to 5 years,
Wow.
Yeah.
So bare minimum, if everything goes in your
3
favor,
years.
everything works out perfectly, you can do it in 18 months.
Yeah.
But that's like a rare case scenario.
Yeah. I mean, it's not rare.
Oh, okay.
It's achievable.
Okay.
I said rare case is 12 months, right?
Oh, somebody can do it in 12. Somebody can do it in a year.
Yeah.
But
Somebody could do it
lock
12.
the fuck in.
Yeah. Lock the fucking, Unless you want to be a paramedic, that takes another 18. You're at 18 months to that.
Damn.
I'm an EMT. I'm not just an EMT. I'm the EMT.
Come on, man.
So
The EMT.
the EMT. But no, if you want to go to medic school, which I'm going to recommend that.
You are.
Yeah, I'm going to recommend that because paramedics are like pretty much guaranteed the job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, unless you have something in your background that doesn't match what a
Yeah.
firefighter's supposed to be.
What did you do in the Navy?
Have you guys seen Top Gun?
Yeah.
All right, the first one,
Yes.
right? So,
I'm Tom Cruise.
so you remember that jet taking off, right?
Yeah. In the
And
beginning?
then- in the beginning.
Uh-huh.
But then there were these guys that were like running with hoses.
Yes.
They had purple jackets.
Yeah.
I was an ABF.
Well,
So-
are they the ones that stop the jets from?
No, they're the ones that fuel them.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha.
Fuck. All right, so
That's still pretty sick, though.
it is, man. You're working on the flight deck. I mean, you got propellers going around, jet.
So you were on a
blast,
ship,
I was on a ship,
bro. That's crazy.
I was on the LHD-8, the USS
Dang.
Maryland, baby.
Wow.
Shout out.
Yeah.
So
Were you married? Would you get married?
No, I wasn't married.
Oh,
I
wow.
hadn't met Denise yet.
Wow.
I was young. These are my prime years. This little baby Marco back then.
Dang.
Stationed in San Diego.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Shit.
That's super
Yeah.
cool.
What's that station called again? Miramar?
No, this was Naval Base San Diego, NBSD.
Is there a Miramar or am I tripping?
Yeah, there is.
There is, okay. Okay,
Naval
cool.
Base Miramar.
Do you feel
I
like
don't
the
look stupid.
Navy? Do you feel like it's in your character and nature to be like calm and composed? Because like I feel like from the moment you walked in, like that was kind of like your nature. You're just very like put together. You don't really like. You're just kind of. Was that something you were born with, or do you think that was instilled in you through the Navy?
I think that was instilled throughout my life experience. Just handling situations and being under stressful situations.
Yeah.
Obviously, firefighting, Navy, like all this stuff. I just kind of I've learned how to control my actions and my reactions.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think a lot of it is
Wow.
that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
There's this
It's a
whole
good
saying,
trait
like,
to have
yeah,
as a firefighter, I would say, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that whole keep your head on the swivel type of
Yeah,
thing. It's
yeah.
just like it's that stuff that you learn as a kid that maybe you don't learn out here.
Yeah.
You learn it out of young.
Dang. So since
I learned that in football. That was my coach would always tell me
Okay,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
keep
So,
your head
yeah.
on a swivel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before you get clocked.
Like being
blindsided.
just being trucha.
being
you know?
trucha, yeah. Dang. So since the Navy, you just
Locked in.
always had a manguera on you.
Hell yeah.
Working on my head, bro.
Never
Till
leave
this
the-
day, huh?
Never leave the house without it.
That
Oh
thing.
man. Quick question, because I'm an entremetido. You guys have such a nice energy together, you, Denise and you, Marco. Where'd you guys meet?
Hell.
What was the meet cute?
Um,
Online?
no, this was in person.
How?
So, all right, you guys ready for this story?
Yes.
Yeah, we love a
Oh, this is pretty
firefighter.
good. A
All right, so-
romance.
Yeah, I was.
I love that burns.
I was I was working on the ambulance. I was working on the ambulance at the time. I was doing IFT, like inter-facility transport, and me and my partner, it was lunchtime, so we're debating what we're gonna eat. So we had to Rochambeau. He wanted Pyology, which is where she worked at the time, and I
Bomb
wanted
pizza.
and I wanted Mountain Mike's because it was like all you can eat for $16.99. I'm hungry.
Of course, a man like you would want an all-you-can-eat spot.
Yeah, man, Mountain Mike's, man, just good pizza. So Rochambeau, I lost.
If you don't know what Rochambeau
I
is,
knew he was gonna do something stupid like this.
no, I look out for everybody.
Everybody
back
knows
at
what
home.
Rochambeau is.
No,
bro.
that's not true.
You don't know?
All right, I told you exactly. I'm very aware of sometimes slang. Sometimes you can feel like you know it all, right? And that's fine. But people sometimes back at home and sometimes here in the West Coast, it's not a slang like that. They might live somewhere.
Can you just get to the point?
Okay.
Jesus,
Rochambeau, rock, paper, scissors.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah, rock, paper, scissors. Yes, sir. So
So you lost.
yeah,
No mountain
luckily-
Mike.
fortunately, yeah, very lucky.
The only best loss of your life.
Yeah, and
Wasn't really an L.
yeah.
Wasn't really an L.
It was a different kind of L.
So
A
it was,
love.
it was
A love
So
L.
you walk into biology and then
Destiny.
what?
Were you in your? Oh, you weren't a firefighter, or you
nah,
were?
but I was in uniform though.
Whew, that's so hot.
That was in my EMT uniform.
Dang.
Walked in there. The first thing I saw was her, but she was in the oven, so I only saw the back.
Cooking up.
Sorry.
You saw?
My bad.
What?
¿Cómo te va a ir?
I'm fucking dead, bro. She goes, I saw a pie for sure.
So I saw her. She was flipping pies or
Pizza.
The oven.
freaking yeah. She was working the oven. And then after I saw her, I saw a sign that said, "Sorry for the inconvenience. We're out of red onions." I always call them purple onions because they look purple.
Yeah,
I
they
don't know
do.
why do they call them red
That's a
onions?
dumb name.
I don't know.
They
It's
changed
so
the name.
fucking stupid.
Yeah, they're purple
Purple
onions.
Purple onions. So it says, "Sorry for the inconvenience. We're out of purple onions." I mean,
Red
red,
onions.
red,
Yeah.
red onions. So right away, I started firing. Like I was triggering. I'm like, "What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?" I walk up. I'm like, "Can I get a pizza with just red onions?" Let me get a pizza with just red onions.
You really said that?
I did. I really said that.
To her.
Yeah, to her. She turns around. She's like, and she just rolls her eyes. Like, I was like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But let me get some ham, some pineapple. By the way, pineapple on
On
pizza.
pizza, must.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah,
saying
bro.
that.
Yes.
Yes, bro.
Like, if you don't like pineapple on pizza because I don't like my pineapple warm. Is anybody here against pineapple? Okay, thank God.
Hell,
Like,
two kinds of people.
bro, what do you say when people say that? Like, don't be picky.
I think it's such a weird thing to be picky about. It's like, what?
It's just warm.
Yeah.
It's delicious, savory and
delicious.
sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, sorry.
Yeah, and you- pineapple, ham, cheese,
Yeah.
pepperonis.
A little
whole
Hawaiian
thing,
vibe?
A little everything, right? It's like all you can put on that pizza.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I get to the end of the line. She's like, okay, it's going to be so-and-so. And
So not only is she making the pizza, she's also the cashier.
And she, yeah, cashier.
And work in the oven?
I work in
Damn.
the oven. It's like
Jesus.
she told everyone, back off. Move to the side. I got this guy. I got this guy. This is my humor. My dumb humor. So, yeah, she gave me my receipt. I think I was number 36. 33. All right. 33. And as EMTs, we got to write PCRs and take notes and stuff. So I took out one of my pens. I'm like, all right. Wrote my number down.
No way.
She called my number 33, and I slid. This is before sliding your DMs. You know, so I slid my number underneath the pizza, and then she grabbed it. And then we're here now.
No
And she
way.
texted you.
Yeah, she
How soon?
like 3 days later.
Oh, she
2
did the
days.
3-day rule.
Really?
Smart. Keep him on his toes.
It was on Instagram.
You're that-
actually. No, it was Facebook. Oh yeah, she I don't think we should say that online. It was HIPAA or whatever it is. No, she looked me up online and
Because the
through my
credit card was on, his name was on his credit card.
Yeah.
Wow, you're sneaky.
Yeah, yeah.
That
yeah.
is good.
Yeah,
Marco, you're slick like that?
I used to be.
Used to be.
Yeah. Not anymore.
Wow.
Wow.
You know, you seem like a very well collective, mature. I wouldn't know you're so atrevido.
I was younger.
Oh, how cool.
How long ago was this?
I was 25. I had just turned 25.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, so you guys almost have been together for 10 years.
Yeah. We've known each other almost for 10 years. We'll say it like that.
Got it.
Yeah.
No, I'm
All
just
right.
saying you guys have a beautiful energy.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you.
What's the most, like, not really crazy, but like almost ridiculous thing you ever got called up on while like working?
While working?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like they always kind of make fun of like when firefighters get called up to get like a cat down the tree, something around that realm.
Okay, like a funny ass call. Ooh, that's a good question. This time, like we get a call to two ladies trapped in a car. And, we're like, okay,
That's
either
crazy.
Vehicle accident. That's why I said just two ladies stuck in a car. We have like a little dispatch system on our phones, and that's all the information that we got. So we pulled up into a Safeway, which is a Vons out here. Up there's a
Yeah, Safeway.
Yeah, so Safeway. And there was these two ladies that were in their car. They're a little older, and they were crying. They were just like, we can't get out, you know? And they were speaking a different language, so I couldn't really communicate with them. And I mean, they're in the car, and they're locked inside the car. And then it's an older car, so you don't need a remote or anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know what was going on, but I was like making hand signals and like, hey, I was like, no, like
Lift it up.
Yeah, lift it up or open the door. Open your door. Have you guys seen that meme? Yeah. Open your door. Open your door. So yeah, and then I mean, like they're crying. They're like, it was a warm day too, so it was either that.
They weren't in an accident, by the way. They were their car was just parked in Safeway.
Parked at Safeway. They were gonna go grocery shopping. They pulled in, turned off their car, and they couldn't get out. I guess their door doesn't automatically unlock when you pull the handle. So I was like, pull that. And then they finally did it, and then they were able to open the door. And so to me, like, that was one of those calls where, like, I think I've seen it all.
What did they say? That you said they barely spoke English.
Yeah, they barely spoke English.
Interesting.
So, they didn't really say much other than, like, just their tears.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah.
Oh, there was,
thank you.
yeah.
And that's it.
Thank you. Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah.
So
that was pretty.
It's random.
That was pretty.
obviously you do content on Instagram, TikTok. Do those, when you do that and when you're like fighting fires, are your like your brothers back at the station, do they ever give you shit because you do both? Do they know? Is it a problem that you do both? Like, does your captain ever say, hey, like, we see you doing this, you know, you're causing kind of attention to the department, or does nobody know? Do they care? Is that something that you can do? Is it kind of like a fine line?
Yeah.
Or can you do whatever you want?
It's so new, right? It's just such a new topic. Yeah, they all know.
They all know.
They all know now. Yeah, they found me, and I'm sure they're gonna know more now.
Like, dude, you're famous.
Like, damn, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, they all know, but they know the kind of message that I'm putting out. For the most part, they're all very supportive, right? And there are guidelines that I have to follow, right? It was just one of those things where, like, hey, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna try. I'm gonna take my chance, you know. I just gotta keep, like, obviously my department's name out of it and things like that. And any of my, like, opinions, any political of my beliefs, political views are mine and not my department's, right? But then again, it's like all I'm doing is just opening doors for the youth.
Absolutely.
Which is just at a bigger scale. And then once they start, a lot of the guys that are against it, I would say that maybe don't really know the potential of social media and the platforms and the difference it could actually make. As far as outreach, we have outreach programs, right? But then at this level, like, who's not on their phone anymore, right? It's just the new generation. It's if you're not staying with the curve or ahead of the curve, then you're gonna get left behind.
You absolutely will.
And that's just one of those things. And at first, man, it was tough. You know, a lot of people just make fun of you.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, just talk a lot of smack, right? But then I started realizing, like, once you start having haters, you're doing something right.
Come on, Marco, let them know.
You know, before you start having those haters. No, but then you get all these testimonials, you get all these kiddos, you know, just hitting you up, all this youth, like, you know, like telling you, like, thank you for being a role model, thank you for sharing this information.
Yeah.
Then that just blocks off any of that, right? It's just all right, cool. Like,
bigger purpose.
I'm way more motivated now to create more content and open up more doors. To, I don't know, to make society a little bit better. Even if it's just one person that I reach. Or, you know,
or 50,000.
Or 50,000. Yeah, and just kind of like be a role model, but, you know, someone wanting to now explore the firefighting world. Right? You know? So to
like
me, that's to me that just. To me, that makes more sense, right? Yeah. Like knowing you are making the difference with each video that you put out.
Yeah. So I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cool, man. I love the idea that you can create content now and it's just for, like, a greater purpose. Like, we started making social media, like, super early on, and it was just about, like, just entertainment, right? Like sketch comedy, or like his wife is in like the beauty space, like just makeup. But the potential now is so cool. Like you can be a guide for people. You can be like an inspiration. Like that's the content that you put out, and it's so purposeful.
Yes, sir.
It's
Yes,
so
sir.
cool, man.
Yeah, especially you know, in our fields, like I saw something, you know, like there's not a lot of firefighters, and now you're seeing more firefighters, you know, starting their channels, and I'm like, hell yeah, like go for it,
That's cool.
do it. At the same time, it's like in our little area, it's so niche, so like you know, Latinos, right? As simple as putting a corrido in the background, right?
Relates.
It relates to them,
It hits.
right?
It
It's like seeing someone that looks like them
Yeah.
doing something that they want to do in the future.
Or maybe they didn't even consider or thought it was attainable. You created that the belief that it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because growing up, you know, you see firefighting commercials, you have this conception of the firefighting world, you know, and when we see people like you, a young Mexican who is fighting fires with, you know, corridos in the background,
Long
you
as
kind
manguera.
of, long, with your long manguera, you change the narrative of what a firefighter should actually be.
Right.
Right. Which what it was is not a bad thing. It never got, it wasn't like a bad thing that it was going this way. It's just you made us look at it in a way where it's like, oh shit, I should be there. I feel like I'm a part of that. I want to be part of that world, because Marco, he's making it seem like, yo, I listen to corridos. I like Mexican culture. I like fucking shooting the shit, speaking Spanish. ¿Sí me entiendes? Like doing things like that. I want to be part of that. And maybe those kids that want to be firefighters, maybe they were scared because they never saw that kind of like culture in it.
Yep.
So now they see it and they're like, shit, that's for me.
Yep.
And you're making it look, it already is cool. You just made it look cooler for Latinos.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And that's the goal, honestly.
Breaking stereotypes.
Yeah, breaking stereotypes. And like you're saying, it was nothing bad at all right now. But now we're just, you know, opening more doors to youngsters that are hungry, you know, to want to do something.
Yeah.
Be a productive member of society, right? It's just another option now for them, right? Because, I mean, fuck, we're hardworking people.
Of course.
Right?
One of the hardest.
This is hard.
Damn
This is
right.
hard work.
Yeah.
And what do? Best? Fucking we work hard.
Chingarle.
Chingarle, yeah. We have heart.
Yeah.
You know, like this isn't just a job that's gonna get given to you. This is a job you gotta go out there and earn this career.
And continue to earn.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Putting in the work, and that's really my overall mission.
My last question for you, Marcos, because I know you have a flight to catch. What's something back at home that you can tell people right now that are watching, like kind of like about fires, on how to prevent them, what to do, have something ready, something that maybe like me, a regular person back at home, might not have something prepared for my own house, and maybe if I need to evacuate, what's something that unos consejos that you can give them?
Yeah, so you know, if there is a fire, that you know it's gonna happen. It's not. It's just a matter of when.
Especially here in all of California.
Yeah, really all of California, right? So my biggest piece of advice is have a ready bag. You know, have at least 1 to 2 weeks worth of clothes already packed. Have all your valuables in an area where you could quickly gather them together. You know, have a duffel bag, have a maleta, if you can. You know, so it's not just fires that we face. You know, I mean earthquakes, right? Have a generator. Ready, right?
Generator.
And if you can, man, I've been recently preaching, have Starlink, you know, so that so you're able to communicate with your family.
Yeah.
You know, when something like that, because the first thing that goes out is gonna be power, right? Then your internet, your Wi-Fi is not gonna work. Cellular service is gonna cut off, right? And then your family's all worried, like, where are you? So you know, if you can, you know, have a Starlink. You know, have access to that for communication, so you can know what's going on around you.
That's a good
I like that.
You know, for me, and I tell my wife, and we tenemos arroz y frijoles, you know, that dry stuff. We're like, we could live off of that. I mean, we grew up on that.
And all you need is water.
And water, and something to make it hot.
Sorry, one last question, because it just came to my mind. People back at home like ourselves, you know, we feel sometimes hopeless and we want to help.
Yeah.
You know, obviously we can donate. We can donate necessity things for firefighters, especially when you guys were camping out here. donations that go towards you guys, towards the people affected. If you were in a position where you aren't fighting the fires, but say you were like somebody, a civilian who wants to do something, make a change, do something good for the community, what would something like that be? That we probably only say to ourselves, okay, let's donate here. Let's actually donate money here. We can do community service. What would something be that actually would really help? Like really help? And I know all of those things really help.
Yeah.
But something that you would, kind of let us know, and something that we should do that we might not know.
Okay, so there's this program called CERT, which most cities have, right? It's called it's CERT, and it's called the Community Emergency Response Team, and they meet like once or twice a month and just kind of go over like scenarios, and they teach you how you can actually like help during catastrophic events like that.
Really?
Yeah, it's most big cities have it. Most cities
cool.
actually have that. Yeah. So I have CERT teams where they'll actually get like a page and be like, hey, this is going on, and they'll give them assignments like surge, like nothing crazy where you're not trained on, but they teach you how to use a fire extinguisher. They teach you how to lift things. They give you a hard hat and a vest.
Wow.
They give you like a flashlight and things like that. Where if that's something along the lines of like where you're going towards, then you guys could check that out. Look, it's CERT. And you'll be able to help that way. Other than that, I mean, what you guys are doing is amazing. When you guys had that event, to
Donation
drive, that was huge. It was like, we were getting a lot of donations.
That's amazing.
Which was great. Yeah. And then the people that were affected too. Donations will always help.
Yeah.
Monetary donations. If you guys could, pets, those are the hard ones. Like when you show up, you see, we saved a dog actually. We were able to reunite a dog with his own.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
what a
but for
feeling.
me, yeah, we have 2 dogs. So
Yeah, I know.
If you
Same.
guys can like host pets during times like this, where you can foster them.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think you could do that. Foster
Yeah.
them. Pet food donations, things like that.
Yeah.
Which are huge on my list.
I was expecting an amazing answer, and that was amazing times 2.
Oh, thank you.
Great answer. Yeah, I didn't know about that search stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah.
We can actually probably leave like that link and something like that
And anybody
on the
can do that.
description down below.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
anybody.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
That is
so-
cool. Yeah.
And they'll meet like once or twice a month.
Oh.
Just kind of train you and
Yeah.
like go over situations. And
Yeah.
possible things that could happen.
Yeah.
Which in California,
All of it's
fires and
possible.
earthquakes.
Yeah.
Damn.
And tsunami. Yeah.
Bro, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Marco, I say this with the bottom of our hearts.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for fighting the fires recently with you and
Yes.
all of the people that all the firefighters that you work with. We appreciate that. Literally, I can't say anything more. Like it's such a blessing to have you guys, especially meeting people that are dedicated like you and not just doing it for a job. You actually are in love with what you do, and that
passion.
as somebody for us who are civilians who look at you guys, but we don't really get to know you guys. It's such a breath of fresh air to know that there's people like you out
Yeah.
there. And I know that there's thousands and millions of others that are just like you. Thank you so much for putting on for the Mexican culture.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to all the Mexican firefighters out there too, chingándole.
Bomberos, eh?
The bomberos with their mangueras y todo. And thank you so much for being on La Plática. I hope everybody enjoyed this episode. And we're just fortunate to have you because I know, especially this month, you've been insanely busy.
A little busy.
So-
So busy.
Yeah,
Bro, please plug everything. Like I know you have like your own merch brand as well, right? Like your own
Yeah.
line. Please like let us know what you got going on, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I will do. And thank you guys for having me, man.
Of course,
I'm super
bro.
excited. Thank you for allowing me to share my message too, about, just opening doors for the youth and things like that. And really, really honored to be here.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
Thank you, Marco. For real. We appreciate that.
Absolutely, bro.
Came in as a stranger, leaving as a friend.
Absolutely, man.
Always.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
our goal. That's our goal.
sir.
I hope you liked enjoying being with us in this episode. For everybody back at home, subscribe to the channel. Go follow Marco. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. I don't know if he wants you to follow his wife, but you guys got to see them. They're really
They're
cute
adorable.
together. Yeah. Follow the Josh Leyva. Sazon Studios, guys, brand new. We got some more exciting stuff on the way as well. I mean, things are just kind of trickling down. So thank you for your support, Josh Leyva. Anything else?
You said it all, baby.
I said it all.
Said
huh?
it all, man.
Marco,
Times two.
once again, Thank you so much.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you guys.
And when you see your brothers at the station, tell them we said thank you as well.
We'll do.
That
We'll
ass.
do.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Nos
Oh,
vemos
yeah.
en la próxima
We'll see you guys.
plática.
Órale.
Love you.
Ciao.
Hello. Later.
Beautiful. Great episode, bro. Thank you so much.
Damn, baby. Since you were born, you wanted to do this?